You familiar with patronage?
I think so.
So it's basically just a Roman concept, it's a concept that originates in Rome, and their way of doing things. I've also heard it just called the Godfather system, and the way it works is very simple. Rich guy finds a poorer guy, and the rich man becomes his patron, and the poorer man becomes his client. And basically, the patron helps get things done. He facilitates for his client. He helps him find a good place to live, helps him get honest employment, maybe gives him some money when he runs into trouble. Helps provide legal counsel if he ends up on the wrong side of the law. And in exchange, what the client gives him is loyalty, particularly of a political nature. It's literally just paying people for votes, for showing up at political events, rallies, basically all the sort of stuff that they do with the housing projects now, where they just show up with a bus and they're like, "You want lunch? Get on the bus. We're going to the polling place." And it's and the thing is that and the sort of favors that a patron could do for his client, like, it was considered rude if your client came to you and asked for your help to just turn him away. Like, particularly if the request was reasonable. Like, if he comes to you and it's like, "Yeah, man, I need like the Roman equivalent of $1 million," you're probably going to laugh at him and go, Are you serious? Like, what's going on here? But if he comes in and it's like, "Guy I was working for is no longer in business, and I got a family to support, and I need help," it was considered not just a good thing for the patron to do that. He was considered that he had an obligation. That was his job, to help this guy out. He'd accepted that role, so he had to try and do something. And so, and the thing is that the idea, even now in Mediterranean cultures, this idea still exists. Like, the idea that you would be completely impartial when, like, say, selecting someone for a government job, when one of the applicants is a close friend of yours. Like, the thought that you would pick someone other than him is seen as ludicrous and absurd. It's seen as rude. It's like, why wouldn't I help out my friend? This man is my friend. It's my job to help him. That's what friends do. Why would I pick someone else just because they might be more qualified? I don't know this guy. I don't trust this guy. He could do anything. Yeah, he might be more qualified, but he might, he might go more on the take than is considered good and sensible. Or he could, want to shift the entire direction of the organization in a way that's not going to work. I don't know what he's going to do. I know what this guy's going to do, and that trust is important to me.
I've never seen this guy before in my life. Who the hell is this guy?
Who's this guy? Who's his people? I haven't met any of his people. No. I have no way to prove anything about this guy. And that's something that's important to remember when we look at a lot of other cultures and societies, or when we think about our own culture. Like, we as white people, we feel like we have an identity. We have an idea of who we are and a sense of community. And we have to find ways to turn that community into a real community, which involves being able to do things like having people who share ideals, who can serve as patrons, and then people who need a bit of a hand up, need to get themselves in a better position to serve as clients. And the thing that connects us all is our own community, that we're all working for a similar objective, and certain people are going to lead, other people are going to follow. Some people are going to be able to help in one way, and some people are going to be able to do other work. It's how it's how human societies have always worked. It's how they always exist. And I think a lot of people, either because they're worried about the scope of the problem we're dealing with, or because they have a very limited understanding of our political system, or because they have an understanding that's been given to them purely by the news media that focuses on particular things, I think people severely overestimate the amount of power we need to start making changes for our own benefit.
Oh, absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely. That's one of the things that amuses me is, like, Exodus Americanus, our view on this has always been a very internal view of how we solve the problem. That, yes, all of these groups that are not us should go have their own societies and leave us the hell alone, obviously. And, like, I think a lot of people look at this problem and they think of it as something that they think that they got to eat the whale in one bite.
Yeah. And there's something to that idea too. I mean, as we as we've all heard before, if you're gonna shoot the king, you shoot to kill. It's you're if you're gonna try and kill the dragon, you probably only get one shot. But the thing is that while we are dealing with the dragon, and I've used the dragon metaphor many times before, there's a lot of steps that lead up to the whole moment where you actually kill the dragon, and those are the steps we need to take. And doing those steps it presents its own challenges. Like we said before, it's a different struggle. It's not unique that you struggle, but the challenges you face can be unique. It's a very different kind of struggle than, well, crossing blades or locking horns with a literal rampaging fire breathing dragon. But it has its own challenges, and those challenges can be overcome in different ways. And when you can overcome those challenges, you actually start to get the tools you need to do more. That gives you more flexibility, more freedom, more breathing room, which you can then continue to you can then use that to overcome different challenges and bigger challenges, which then, it creates the virtuous cycle, the positive feedback loop. You gain a little bit more power or a little bit more freedom, and you use that to accomplish other objectives, which give you more power and freedom, and so on and so on. And one thing I will say is that if a lot of our effort, if the people that really want to still do politics and look at politics and focus on it would go down to their town hall meeting if they live in a small town, or go to city council meetings just to get a sense of what's going on locally, maybe get up there and agitate about something that they find something on the agenda they're talking about that you have an opinion on. Do just a little bit of research, type up maybe like 400 or 500 words that you can refer back to as your notes, and then use to bring up other challenges. You talk to these people, push back on these people if you have the time and the inclination. Like, get yourself out there, get a reputation, see what your local political situation looks like, see if there's people that you can essentially use, whether it be sincerely or otherwise, to further your own aims. It doesn't have to be a full-on like insurgency. It doesn't have to be like you're going to embed yourself in some national organization and change its views from within. It doesn't have to be that high level. It doesn't have to be something that big. Start small, prove yourself on the small stage, and that can give you the clout you need to move further up.
Shit, I'm just trying to get kickbacks when somebody puts in a new Dollar General. I ain't fucking worried about like some national conversation or whatever, because guess what? I don't see a fucking nation every day. I see my community. I see, these more or less these same people every fucking day. Like, what if, Walrus? What if we weren't meant to have a supercomputer in our pocket that informed us of every banal detail of complete strangers' lives?